What if every single human on Earth farted at the exact same moment? Not one person, not one city, not one country. Everyone, all 8 billion of us, at once. Would the planet survive? Would cities collapse? Would airplanes fall out of the sky? Or would nothing happen at all? It sounds ridiculous, but the more you think about it, the more interesting it gets. Because this question forces us to ask something surprisingly scientific. How much gas can humanity actually produce? Let's find out. First, we need to estimate the average fart. Yes, this is real science now. An average fart contains roughly 100 milliliters of gas. That's about half a soda can. Not a lot. Pretty underwhelming, honestly. But here's where things get dangerous. Take that tiny amount and multiply it by 8 billion people. Suddenly you get around 800 million liters of gas. That sounds massive. 800 million liters. Your brain probably hears that number and thinks, okay, we're doomed. But numbers can be deceptive. Convert that into cubic meters, and you get about 800,000 cubic meters. Still sounds huge, but in real-world scale, that's roughly the volume of a few hundred Olympic swimming pools. Big? Sure. Planet-ending? Not even close. So let's get one thing out of the way. No, the Earth would not explode. There would be no shockwave, no global earthquake, no atmospheric rupture. The planet would not suddenly turn into a giant whoopee cushion. Sorry to disappoint you. But volume isn't the real problem. The real problem is what's inside. Most people think farts are mostly smell. They're not. Most fart gas is actually odorless. Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, sometimes methane. Pretty boring stuff. The smell comes from trace chemicals, tiny amounts, but unbelievably powerful, especially sulfur compounds. One of the main culprits is hydrogen sulfide. You know that rotten egg smell? That. And humans are incredibly sensitive to it. You can detect tiny amounts almost instantly, which means if 8 billion people farted at once, the world wouldn't explode, but it might smell like the apocalypse. Imagine walking through a major city, New York, Tokyo, Toronto, London. Within seconds, a wave of smell spreads across streets, offices, trains, elevators, classrooms. People freeze. Nobody says anything. Everyone knows what happened. Nobody wants to acknowledge it. For one brief moment, human civilization enters silent mutual denial. But smell isn't the only concern. There's something else. Something flammable. Methane. Not everyone produces methane in their digestive system. Some people do, some don't. But enough humans do that methane becomes part of the equation. And methane burns. That means in theory, if enough methane accumulates in an enclosed space and someone introduces a spark, you could get ignition. Now before you panic, no, this would not create giant city explosions. Open air disperses gas too fast. But indoors, different story. Imagine an elevator, small enclosed space, 20 people, bad timing, one spark. Suddenly, that harmless social inconvenience becomes a physics problem. So yes, the most dangerous place during the Great Global Fart Event might actually be elevators. Not volcanoes, not airports, elevators. But now let's ask a bigger question. Could this affect Earth's climate? It sounds crazy, but it's worth asking. Because methane is a greenhouse gas. It traps heat far more efficiently than carbon dioxide. So, if humanity releases one synchronized megafart, does global warming spike? Surprisingly, not really. And this is where humans get humbled, because we are not the champions of methane. Cows are. Yes, cows. A single cow produces dramatically more methane than a human, and there are billions of livestock on Earth producing methane constantly. Compared to that, human fart output is almost cute. Embarrassing, but cute. So if you were worried humanity's synchronized fart would destroy the climate, don't be. Cows already won that competition. By a lot. Now let's move beyond chemistry, because something even more interesting happens. Society. Think about what happens in the exact second this event occurs. Pilots pause mid-sentence. Teachers stop teaching. Doctors freeze. Stock traders stare at screens. Gamers stop yelling. Even AI servers are probably being discussed online instantly. Social media would explode. Memes would spread faster than the smell. The internet would enter total chaos. Hashtags everywhere. Breaking news everywhere. Live reactions everywhere. Somebody would immediately start selling merchandise. Some influencer would claim they predicted it. Conspiracy theorists would say it was planned. Someone would blame aliens. Someone would blame governments. Someone would say it was caused by AI. And somehow, someone would still make it political. Because of course they would. But here's what fascinates me most. For one strange moment, every human shares the exact same experience. Rich or poor, young or old, CEO or student, famous or unknown. Every single person experiences the same thing at the same time. That almost never happens. Humanity is divided by language, culture, borders, beliefs, religion, money, power. We constantly separate ourselves into categories. Us, them, winners, losers. But in this moment, none of that matters. Because biology doesn't care about status. Your bank account doesn't matter. Your job title doesn't matter. Your followers don't matter. Your political opinions don't matter. Your luxury car doesn't matter. Your stock portfolio doesn't matter. Your net worth doesn't matter. Your digestive system treats everyone equally, and maybe that's the weird beauty of this ridiculous thought experiment. No matter how advanced civilization becomes, we remain biological creatures. We create artificial intelligence. We launch rockets into space. We design quantum computers. We dream about becoming digital beings. Yet inside all that sophistication is still a stomach, still bacteria, still digestion, still gas. There's something strangely grounding about that. It reminds us that progress doesn't erase nature, it just builds on top of it. Underneath every polished suit, every billion-dollar company, every world leader, is a human body doing weird human things. Maybe that's funny, maybe that's humbling, maybe both. So, would humanity survive if everyone farted at once? Yes, absolutely. Civilization would continue, the atmosphere would recover, the smell would fade, life would go on, but something would change forever. Because after that day, everyone would remember exactly where they were, what they were doing, and how they felt. It would become history. People would talk about it for generations. Parents would tell children. Children would ask grandparents. Documentaries would be made. Scientists would write papers. The internet would never let it die. Memes would survive longer than monuments. And humanity would forever share one unforgettable memory. The day everyone farted. At once. And maybe the real explosion was never in the atmosphere. Maybe it happened online. Maybe it happened in our collective consciousness. Or maybe the real lesson is much simpler. No matter how intelligent we become, no matter how powerful AI gets, no matter how far humanity expands into space, there will always be one universal truth. We are all just highly evolved organisms, trying our best, while occasionally producing gas. And honestly, that might be the most human thing of all.